start with a pedal. I believe at every level of football, you need to be working some back pedaling. The more they do it, the better they become at it. I even challenge kids to just walk backwards sometime in the hall and work on turning your hips, going to class or something like that. Just the more you do a thing, the better you're going to become at it, the more reps you can get. But we want them to have a good stance. And the thing we like to talk about with our stance is comfortable stance. We don't like for you to get too low or be too high, but we want you to be comfortable. And we say we want you always on the ball of your feet, not letting your heels touching the ground at all, because you don't run forward with your heels touching. We definitely don't want you running backwards with your heels touching. Anytime your heels touch the ground when you're running backwards, more than likely you're going to tumble over and fall if you're not careful. So we start by just doing a slight slow pedal. And one more thing about our stance, we have shoulders over knees and knees over toes. Those are the angles we have in our body. We like to keep power angles in our body. We talk about shoulders over knees, knees over toes with our eyes up, hands up. Those are things we talk about with our stance. Now we'll start with a slow pedal, and all it is a walk backwards. It's a slow walk backwards without your heel touching, everything in a straight line. We talk about our elbows being at 90 degrees tight to our bodies. Whenever we run, we like to have everything going in a straight line when we run forward. Same thing as we go backwards. Now, a lot of times you'll see the defensive back's knees buckle outside, and I like to show them that on film, that you don't run like that running forward. So however you run forward, that's the picture we should have going backwards. We want to mirror that picture. So that's a slow pedal we'll start with and get a lot of work just walking it, and then once we speed it up, we want it to look the same. Next thing we'll have is a control pedal. And we'll start with the slow pedal. Next thing we have is a control pedal. And these are drills we'll do with cornerbacks and safeties, or nickels or Sams or jacks. These are guys that'll be doing all of these drills just to, number one, to develop footwork, and number two, to be fundamental with our coverages. But the next thing we talk about is control. So we'll start with that walk backwards. Then they'll give a control command. When they receive that command, they sprint backwards into a full speed back pedal, and then I like to bring them back down to a slow pedal. So it's control, real slow, speed, real fast, back to control. And what I'm looking at there is to see if their posture changing at all. If they get lower to go fast or stand up to go fast, I want to make sure they stay and maintain that same level between speeds. So that's one thing we work on a lot with back pedal. Some more things we'll work on is some weaving, making sure your hips stand square and shoulders stand square to the line of scrimmage, but still getting off of the line on the weave and getting ready so we can break in any direction to keep our hips square. The next thing we talk about is shuffle. With the corners, we shuffle a lot. That's where our butts be to the sideline, and we make sure our toes are either pointing slightly inside and they're locked in where our hips won't turn, but we shuffle. And the coaching point on our shuffle is we always want to toe in the grass. We want it to look like we're a typewriter. So we want to toe in the grass at all times. So it's not a glide. It's not galloping, but it's a shuffle. We're really getting it up and down really fast, shuffling out of there. Another thing we'll talk about is hip turns. We'll do that off of the back pedal, where we'll go slow pedal, speed up, and then turn and run a straight line. And the things we talk about there, number one is posture. Number two, as we turn, keeping our elbows and our chins tight to our shoulders and to the body for the elbow, and to snap it around so we can turn all in one step. Not take 3 tiny steps to turn, but turn all in one step to continue to run. And we really emphasize exploding out of that run once we get turned around. And we also come back and we'll do a 360-degree turn where we open and you end up turning a full circle coming back down. And it all starts with the back pedal. control pedal, speed, and then 360 all the way back, sprinting back through the line where they started. So those are all drills we'll do with our corners and our safeties. Now you see here where we got a motor drill. Our motor drill is only foot fire, keeping our hips square, keeping leverage on the ball. So if the ball was here where this cursor is, the coach will have the ball in his hand. He'll just walk and move at angles, and there's to keep that leverage wherever they start. Keep that leverage, the distance and the width. Don't let it close. Keep that leverage wherever it ends up. They should have that same leverage to where they started. So that's very, very important what we do with our safeties, because they're on the inside receiver so much, and I cover zero coverage, doing a lot of foot fire.